Hi, in this video I'll show you some basic cutting exercises. These exercises will not only teach you the cuts and the movements and positions of Bolognese swordsmanship, but they will also build some strength in your arms that you will need in your later practice. Don't worry, these are all very basic and easy to begin with, but they will be extremely useful for you in the long run. These are all exercises that I practice constantly myself, and I find them extremely useful in my practice. So I hope you'll enjoy them too. In the first exercise we're simply going to look at the mezza volta, the half turn of the hand, where we simply shift from one guard to the other. These guards are called porta di ferro, which is on the inside, and coda lunga, which is on the outside. Now we're going to do a full turn, which in Italian is called a volta intera. This involves a turn from guardia alicorno all the way into guardia intera. Now we're going to use the mezza volta from a low guard into a high guard as a preparation for an attack. And first we're simply going to execute downward thrusts from these positions. So we're going to do the Imbroccata on the right side and the Imbroccata reversa on the left side. Now we're going to use the half turn from a low guard into a high guard as a preparation for a cut. So we're going to execute the downwards cuts, which in Italian are called the sgualembrati, from the right side and the left side. From the right side the cut is called a mandritto, and from the left side it is called a riverso. And finally, we're going to combine the thrust and the cut. So we will prepare the attack by lifting from low guard to high guard with the mezza volta, and from there we're going to execute a thrust and then a cut. So basically we're going to do a mezza volta and then an imbroccata and a mandritto. Then a mezza volta on the other side, an imbroccata reversa and a reversa. Now we're going to do the same exercise but a little bit less formally. So we can execute an imbroccata or we can execute a downwards falso cut, and we're simply looking for a flow. Now let's reverse the direction of this exercise, so we can execute either rising false edge cuts or ascending thrusts, and then follow these actions with ridoppio, which are rising true edge cuts. So from the right side we will execute a stoccata or a falso and follow that with a mandritto ridoppio. From the left side we will do a punta riversa or a falso Marco and follow that with a riversa ridoppio. In this exercise I will also redouble these ridoppio. So from the right side we will execute the thrust or the false edge cut, and then not one but two rising true edge cuts. And same from the left side, we'll execute a thrust or a false edge cut followed by two rising true edge cuts. We should also practice the false edge cut separately. So in the following exercise we will execute the false edge rising cut followed by a downwards descending cut on the same line. So basically we are alternating between a falso and a sgualembrato. Now we will execute a combination cut, which is very typical to the Bolognese style. We will begin with a rising false edge cut, followed by a descending true edge cut from the same side. This is the so-called ribbon cut, starting with a falso from the right side and a sgualembrato from the right side, and followed by a falso from the left side and a sgualembrato from the left side. These cuts can also be practiced as full cuts or half cuts. The half cuts always stop with the point in line, and the full cuts travel all the way through. Now we will look at the different ways of preparing simple mandritti and simple riversi. The mandritti in this exercise will be prepared in three different ways. By lifting the hand and then cutting. By simply doing a tramazzone, which is a wheeling cut done with the wrist on the inside. And finally with a mulinetto, which is a wheeling cut done on the outside, where the elbow can also bend. following exercise, we'll practice the reversi by preparing them in 3 different ways. We will lift the sword over the left shoulder, and then we will execute a wheeling cut on the outside, and then a wheeling cut on the inside. Finally, we will take all these actions and put them together in a free-form improvised cutting exercise. Feel free to come up with your own and simply try not to think too much. Simply execute the cuts and let them come natural. Thank you for watching, and also register at marozzo.com so that you will be able to access the premium content.